Yeah, man, what's good? Shani Culture here for Ebro in the morning. We have the man Assassin, a.k.a. Agent Sasko.
Yeah, enough respect. Give thanks.
How you feel, man?
Yeah, it's all good. We're there.
So now we're pushing the album here, Theory of Reggaetivity.
Yeah, man.
Give me some background on that.
Well, the theory of reggaetivity is kind of like my academic / scientific look at reggae music. You know, trying to, even define what exactly reggae is, in music, and exploring, what the circumstances might have been around its birth. You know what I mean? Starting of a genre, and then presenting reggae in its different textures. Musically. So, starting from like, ska to rocksteady to, when reggae was transitioning to dancehall with a mix-up record, and then even reggae in its evolving state as, a genre that you blend with other genres to form new genres. So, of course, that you have people trying to define some new reggae fusion going on, so on a track like Crazy, which features Alicia Imora, we explored that, that aspect of the music, which is always, dynamic and evolving.
Yeah, I see there's some good collaborations on here too. You got Chronics on the album.
Yep.
As well as
Alicia Imora.
Alicia Imora.
Yeah, those are the two features. And then the other features they're seeing there are my kids actually. So like
really?
Yeah. So I have 3 kids. Lauren does an intro for one of the songs, doing a verse from a Tony Rebel record, and then there is AC and JC, and Lauren, we call her LC, doing another intro for another song.
Nice. So you're giving them some album credits. Make sure they get some college money.
Yeah, right?
Get that early college money. So now I listened to the album. Some of the ones I like, Theory of Reggaetivity is nice. It's nice. Also Africa, No Slave, real nice. Stronger.
Yeah,
got a nice vibe.
We got a video coming for Stronger. Like
Stronger.
It's
Stronger felt like it was the lead movement.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And it's one of the records that I listen to Stronger like I'm not the one singing it. I can find motivation and inspiration from it. And so it's one of the records that people tell me that they really can get behind and find just find something in it, some strength.
You had a nice vibe, and the other ones it has like a like a retro reggae feel. The whole album,
yeah, of course,
it feels like a culture, not just dancehall, up tempo, everything. No. It has a real like vibe to it.
Yeah, of course.
Was there something? What was the mental approach when you first stepped into it?
Going back to the theory of reggaetivity, just exploring the different textures of reggae music. One of the overall vibe that you get from it is, it's just, reggae gives a certain mood, a certain vibration, the Rastaman would call it. And so it couldn't be a reggae album without having that vibe, So a part of looking at reggae in a scientific way and in an academic way was to make sure that whatever we're going to put forward would represent that aspect of reggae music. It's not just about rhythm, it's about content, you know what I mean? And, just the presentation of it, just the texture of it, the delivery on the records, like, it's not, it's not any one thing, it's a combination of all those things.
Right. So now you've been busy the past couple of years, at least with 2 major features, with one from Kendrick Lamar, another from Kanye West. How did that happen?
The Kanye feature, so in chronological order, was the first one, and that came about. Kanye's team was in Jamaica recording some vocals for what I understand was supposed to be a compilation album, some cool summer, cool winter, something of the sort. And I got an invitation to come lay some stuff down. I went to the studio like for one afternoon, did like a few verses, a few choruses, and I just left. And then a few months later, I'm hearing that Kanye's people want to contact you because they're gonna use one of the joints. I'm like,
So it was a good luck.
Yeah, of course. But I didn't know it was was gonna be a Kanye album. I knew that there was a Kanye album coming out, but still, it was kind of like everything was
So it was a
hush.
surprise.
Oh man, talk about surprise.
It's a nice surprise.
Yeah, man. So so that's how that came about. The Kendrick feature was something a little bit more direct in terms of. Boy Wonder, the producer, reached out to a good friend of mine, Cardinal Official.
Cardi.
Yeah, man, big up Cardi. You don't know. OG!
See it?
So, so Cardi was like, he was saying he wanted like a Jamaican vibe on the record he's working on for Kendrick. And Cardi said, well, Assassin could, do some damage with this, So they sent it to me, and I did what I did. And
So how did that feel when he did that performance?
Oh,
and used
Grammy?
Yeah.
Oh man, like let me tell. Well, first of all, I was, when I heard, a matter of fact, I was watching the rerun because I wasn't watching live. I got calls or whatever, and even still, seeing it, I was like, yo, that's. I mean, it just felt like I was there, man.
That's my tune on the Grammys.
Yeah, that was incredible. Big up Kendrick, for of course, presenting that song, on that platform. Like it don't get no bigger than that. It's a Grammy stage, so it's
So now, with that being said, too, the potential of trying to get crossover material, trying to get material to bust on this side in the States, like how hard is that, and how important is that for most of the Caribbean artists?
Well, this is how I look at it. Dancehall has proven that it's viable. To the mainstream marketplace, and you can look at. We can take the success of Shabba Ranks coming up, I mean, and we can go through, the long list, and then with, I think, Sean Paul having the most significant success numbers-wise, for sure, topping the Billboard and all of that with authentic dancehall. Coming with the long list, being a Buju, I mean, like, long list. So, it has proven itself in that regard. But then, there are certain variables that go into making a record number one on the Billboard, and it's just a matter of mixing enough of those variables in, like the support of major labels, and then now what we're seeing with dancehall being featured by mainstream artists, the Drakes and the Justin Bieber and Rihanna.
Yeah,
it's immediate.
Is that good or bad?
It's fantastic because. I think it's a good time for the music to be elevated from a seasonal kind of music. In other words, you might have a dancehall song once every few years, making it to the top 10. But, I think this movement can be cementing dancehall as, a mainstream genre that can live in the top 10 or live in the top 40.
So basically, these new tunes are reopening the doors for dancehall music.
Of course. And we're kind of hoping that, somebody will just break the hinges off and let the doors stay open. So, I welcome that. What the next part of the equation is we, dancehall artists, need to do whatever we can to now take advantage of these new opportunities.
Right.
And it means getting prepared and, getting professional. And it means that it's not just artists, but the entire industry, from the beat makers to the engineers. Like we need to be doing mainstream level kind of work, and, like I said, the genre itself has proven to be viable. And, maybe that will now inspire some of the companies to start, looking to Jamaica and to dancehall artists for that representation.
Right. So what do you think are some of the reasons why dancehall has struggled in terms of, is it the visas or the performances or and the flexibility that you're able to have that a lot of reggae artists can't have? Like, what is the politics behind that?
Well, I've developed a new kind of thinking over the last few years after going through, traditional ways of thinking and thinking like, oh, it's all politics and whatever. Let me tell you, I believe in taking ownership and responsibility of everything. And if our music is going to do anything that we want to be a part of, then we have to take responsibility for all of it. No visa trouble is because, somebody somewhere is trying to, it's come on.
There's no conspiracy.
No, I don't see it.
Right.
You know what I mean? We come from a nation where you need visa for travel, and in order to keep that privilege, then you have to try walk a certain line. It's as simple as that. You know what I mean? Right. But outside of that, we need to be, like I said, more accountable, man, and be professionals. Like, I've had conversations over the last month where, there's this brethren who is coming to Jamaica to seek talent, and he's being told that don't waste your time in Jamaica because they're unprofessional.
Really?
You know what I mean? So we have created that perception. We have.
But why is that? Well,
why?
Why is that perception?
Because we have managed to create that by just over the years, just, I don't know, man. It's like taking for granted the fact that we have a music that the world cares about and that, we have a certain platform. And
kind of ego?
I don't know what to chalk it up to. I just can't. I can tell you, what the situation is.
Right.
That what I've seen for myself. Being a part of the industry, and I really believe that the moment that we can take ownership of that is the time when we can now start to make a difference. Because here's the thing: if it's always a conspiracy and if it's always them doing this thing, then might as well give up, because you have no saying that it's always going to be them. But if it's you, then you can start to change things and change the outcome.
Right.
So we really have to own it in order to start to do the things that will be necessary for us to make that step straight up. There's no way around it.
Absolutely. So now, are you familiar with the new Afrobeat movement that's happening as well?
Oh, am I
see what's
familiar
going
with
on?
it? Yeah, I was in South by Southwest, and there was a dancehall or a reggae setup next to a African setup, and let me tell you, the African setup was like
Vibes.
2,500 strong, and the dancehall setup was like maybe 300 people, if that many.
Really?
Yeah, and it's but when you listen to it, it's like you're listening to dancehall and reggae, and I'm saying
Right.
So here's the thing, right? Standing there and looking at the situation, I was recognizing that this is the result of not recognizing the treasure that you have, and then watching other people recognize the value of it and moving towards it, and
Right.
like I say, I welcome that.
Yeah, for sure.
Of course.
It feels good. It feels
of
good. And
course.
there's artists like Sakodi and Wizkid that are making giant steps to bring in recognition to the art form.
Let me tell you, so many. They always say there are strength in numbers, and of course the African community is huge in Africa and outside, and the same goes for the Caribbean. And if we can go back to supporting the music the way we should be supporting the music, in the ways that we should. I'm talking about not just clicking a video on YouTube, but going and buying a record. It's 99 cents. Caribbean artists should be selling at least 100,000 records ever so often, because there are millions of Caribbean people living in the States.
Yeah, and people love the music.
Of course.
They're saying with the Afrobeat now that the vibe that it's giving off is that of reggae from like early 2000s, 90s. So they've captured something that people have been missing for a long time, that the reggae community isn't really capitalizing off anymore.
Let me tell you.
They've taken it and now maybe rapping. The dancers are not vibe dancers. The dancers are daggering and doing stuff that.
So ask me the question and
Well, I want to hear from the professional.
You know what's happening. Let me tell you, we have departed from too many of the things that we're working.
Right.
You can't do that.
Right. That's the word that's going around. And we fell in love. Everybody fell in love, with the vibes that you brought forward. And now the Afrobeat is taking that. But you have an album here that is capturing that vibe all over again.
Of course, man. Of course.
Absolutely.
Going back to the basics, So this is reggae in its authentic form, and it's a theory because it's my take. So there's freedom in it being a theory, because I can always go and make amendments and improvements to it. So far so great, man. It's my first project to debut anywhere in the Billboard at number 3 in the reggae Billboard charts, and
also first album in 10 years.
Yeah.
Wow. What happened with the break?
I had to get myself to the level where I was ready to put another project out, and it had to be, on my terms. Well, I've always been inspired. It's not like I took, I was not recording, during those 10 years, but, my last album came out while I was on a label, and I recognized that in order for me to do the work that I needed to do, it had to be, in a situation where my direction was in alignment with what I was feeling. And so, it took me like 2 years to get off that label, and then, the next few years to kind of get brave enough to take the steps that I need to. You know what I mean? Right. And undo, unlearn the doubt and the fear that kind of, gather like mass over the years. You know what I mean? I fell in love with the music at 3.5 and 4 years old, when you were just fearless and, just, what I mean? The world is yours. And over the years, you kind of pile on, too much of the things that you don't need. So like I said, I have a new way of thinking, man. I spent a couple of years unpacking all of those things to the level where I can just create freely and do what I need to do.
Beautiful. Look, it's called The Theory of Reggaetivity, Assassin, aka Agent Sasko.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Any other place you want the people to find you in terms of social media? Like,
It's
you know,
at Agent Sasko, at AGENTSASCO.
they can directly message you, tell
Of
you,
course,
look,
yeah.
give you their opinions.
There's a website. So I launched a website as well, the www.agentsasco.com, where, you know, you can subscribe to there. We'll have, you know, special, I guess, you know, interactions with, you know, people can directly speak to me like I set up a chat every, you know, once every month or something like that. You could, you know, I'm on Genius now with you know, so you could go on there and, you know, read the lyrics to the songs and, you know, interact in that kind of way. You can, of course, buy T-shirts and, you know, physical copies of the album and, you know, stuff like that, get them signed, whatever. So, you know, it's www.agentsasco.com.
One of the first tunes that I recognized you on was, I mean, say bang, bada, bang, bang, bang.
Oh, yeah.
You can bust that real quick for the people that don't
I'm
know.
on say bang, but the bang, bang, bang. Girl, them a cry for the John, call them no. So feed past steam fish. So we song to the song. No, we not Cisco. But I like to see that tongue to the tongue. And it's no 1 minute, man thing, no, it's more like what you want to song. Me, yeah, this stamina, daddy. Mad! Mad! And of course, I forget them, once they go old school, it's so cool. So I forget them the thing they mix up that's just destroying the place.
Yo, please.
I'm on a rush them like a pit bull, mix with a ratty, clap them like a rifle, mix with a shotty. I know for them, love the watchy, chatty like a peeping time. I mix with a motor massy, trying to mix up the original with carbon copy. I never mix the marijuana plant with the poppy. Yo, no rent a dread, no fear mix up with no natty. No fashion trade, can't come and tell man about Selassie. We love the girl them caramel, a little coffee. Girl freaky when she ready, but she know when she feel classy. I talking about a slim girl, mixed with a fatty.
Nice.
Me got talk about small waist, big
Hey.
Why?
The type of woman I like. All right, yo, big up Agent Sasko. All right,
Yeah,
that's
man.
track number 7. If you're looking for it, it's called Mix Up.
Yeah, man.
Assassin, yo, big up yourself. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
man,
saying?
enough
Each and every
respect.
time. Thank you for coming through.
Give
Theory
thanks.
of Reggaetivity.